I love this view. This to me is one of the coolest views in Skyrim. That temple thing, statuary way off over there, it just has a real above the world look to it. But that is not why you are here. You are here for this. That's right. The TARDIS mod for Skyrim. One of my favorite mods for this game. I would almost even give up my infinite health mod to have this mod. But almost. I'd actually use both, so good thing you don't have to pick and choose. But today in this video we are going to tour the inside of the TARDIS. So in my last video I kind of gave you a tutorial on how to fly the TARDIS and you saw a little bit of the inside. But this... But for this video I just want to take you through the inside, show you what kind of rooms. And hopefully it will not keep giving me lag, because the lag is annoying. Alright, so we've seen this room. This is the main control room. And now, to get to the inside areas, the other corridors, we have that door. We have a door over there. And over on this side, we have a door there. And we have a door right there. So, it doesn't really matter which of the four doors you decide to choose. Oh, and there are two ramps in the room to get down to the bottom area. But it does not matter which door you choose, be it the top or bottom, or the left or the right, you will still go to the same place. So, let's get started. Alright, so, the first place I guess we should go to is the most popular place within the TARDIS. The place that has been mentioned so many times, but never actually seen, at least not to my knowledge. And that is, ba-ding, the swimming pool. Yes, this TARDIS mod came with a pool. In fact, every TARDIS mod I've ever seen has come with a pool, including the one for Fallout. But none of them seem to live up quite to the hype, but it's still cool that they're here. They all have this dark water, but that's partially because the game's limited ability to reflect the water, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, they've never shown it to my knowledge on the screen, but every character, including almost every doctor and their companions, has referred to the swimming pool at some time. And so it is in every mod. Now, I would jump in and show you that underneath, there's a little room down there, that under those stairs, but I have a mod called True Storms that whenever you get your eyes wet, you kind of have to suffer from water blurriness for a while. If you ever jump to a swimming pool or anything with your eyes open, then you know the little foggy effect. Well, they try to recreate that with the True Storms. I think it's the True Storms one. But anyway, you get kind of a foggy blurriness thing going on. So, since I don't want to distort the video that you're seeing, I will refrain from jumping in, and that can just be a surprise that you look up later. Now, one of my favorite scenes from the TV series with the pool is where Riversong jumps off the high-rise into the TARDIS, into the... Oh, wait. Should I have prefaced that with spoiler alert? Oh, well. Anyway. Yeah. So my real question, though, is how does she get to the pool? I mean, if you look at this as a typical setup, there's a wall here, not to mention the door right there. I mean, there's all these little places where she could hit. So wouldn't she just splatted before she wound herself around and made it to this pool? I don't know. Apparently not. Because either the TARDIS change gravity wells in order to steer her to the pool, or it just redesigned itself so that she would land in it. Either is possible, because we've seen the TARDIS do both. So, anyway, if you watched my first video, then you saw this room. This is where all the navigation cubes are. But let's look around over here. I might have pointed out this room in the other one. I don't remember. I've done so many takes and retakes that I can't remember what made the final cuts. So, anyway, here we've got some storage boxes. Lock box there, or strong box rather, and more storage boxes there. The bookcases don't actually store anything. I wish that ShatteredSteel would have put like a function to let those hold books, but they don't. He did not. He or she. I'm not actually sure who ShatteredSteel is, but ShatteredSteel is the designer of this mod. And in earlier incarnations of this video, this is my fourth take. I did actually point that out at the beginning, but somehow I forgot to this time. All right, we have a bed for sleeping, more storage space, a chair and a juniper tree here, and some juniper berry mead. Seems rather appropriate. And now then, over here in this room, we have all of our crafting tables, a workbench here, and smeltering stuff, wood stuff, tanning stuff, and all the other stuff that you need to do stuff with. Now, the Nanite Forge. Probably really very useful if you are building a house currently, because you can build all your housing parts, nails, hinges, whatever. But it also creates something special for the TARDIS that I will discuss in a little bit. So let's get on through this video. Oh, and I'll point out that doors do shut. Now, you might have noticed that there was a loading screen when we came through this door. So this section, this corridor area of the TARDIS, it does load as its own area, which is nice because it reduces lag and makes it very smooth. But there are other rooms that also load. And here's one example. The Dwemer theme, or however you pronounce this. This is really cool. As you might have noticed, the main room was called the mechanical theme. And yep, this is a TARDIS control room based on the Dwemer technology range. And you will find everything that you should find here. Here's the hypercube relay. This is where you put cubes to navigate. There's my fast travel button. And there is this one. Now, each themed room does have special cool things that happen whenever you're using them. I will not spoil that. I will let that be something you discover for yourself, what each room does. But some of them are bigger and more noticeable than others. But yeah, there's still some really cool stuff that was put into this to make each room a little unique. You will also find light switches in most of the rooms so that you can change the basic coloring and feel of the room. Now, you may have noticed that there is no obvious door. Well, to get out, or to make this your default room, you must pull this chain right here. And there's the door, and now this is the default. So if I were to go out this door, I'd be on the roof of the academy, or the college, and when I come back in, this would be the room I enter, hence the word default. Now, let me point out something real quick. This room, whether this is the default room or not, any of the themed rooms with a navigation console can be used to fly the TARDIS. So if I happen to be here while it wasn't the default room and I start pushing buttons, then yes, the TARDIS would still zoop off to wherever I would either told it to go via hypercube or to some random destination via the random activation fast return or the random activation switch. So be aware of that. Now, if there is a hypercube put into any relay, when you change the default setting, the hypercube relay control switch will not come. So you need to make sure that if you switch to a default room and you can't find this hypercube relay, it means you left the hypercube inside the terminal in one of the other rooms. You need to go remove that hypercube, and then when you return, the hypercube relay will be here. So that once you put a cube in, it locks that relay to that room, and that really makes sense if you think about it, because otherwise it would get confused as to where you wanted to go if you triggered several, like, put one for Whiterun and selected Whiterun, then tried to put another one in here and select something else. Yeah, it just wouldn't know where to go. Now this is a really cool, I love the fact that he changed themes between the corridors, so that way you kind of get an idea of the different sections. So here's an engine room. This is what I always imagine the engine room of the TARDIS would look like. But, okay, word of warning, if you get to having fun and you decide to jump down there, good luck getting out. It is really tough. I pretty much glitch jumped my way out by some fortune. I managed to jump up on the gold beam here, and even then, you have to kind of work and wriggle to get yourself over this fence. So, be careful if you jump in, because depending on what your mod situation is, it could be very hard to get out. Now, ooh, look at that door. I bet you're really curious right now. Nope, let's go this way. Alright. So this is the mage theme room, and by the fact that it's loading a screen, you probably figured out, yep, this is another control room. Look at this control room. Understand why it's called mage? I was actually playing earlier, and I changed the color, but I will let you figure out what the secondary color is to this room. Also, what the cool effect is. But I just wanted to show you that there is this theme here designed more for your magic users. It definitely promotes them, and you find all the cool things that you should find here. So, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but to show you that it's here, and that's the door that we came in, and over here is the chain to make this the default room. And once again, if I leave and come back, this is where I would return to. Alright. Alright, now to satisfy your curiosity, the Ariel room. Possibly the coolest room. Look at this. I am banking that they were going for, I'll tell you what it reminds me of before I tell you what I think they were going for, but it reminds me of the castle thing inside the confession dial. Yeah, the doctor's in there, and he's being chased by the mechanical monster, and he has to figure out how to get out, and yeah, spoiler alert again. Sorry, I'm terrible with that. But anyway, I feel like that's what it reminds me of, but I think that what they were going for is, you remember when the doctor was on the planet, and yeah, he'd found a cube, and he followed the cube, and it took him to a planet where there were a bunch of those little cubes, and yeah, there was that scene where they kind of makeshift a TARDIS, and so they fly the TARDIS without an actual shell around it. And that's kind of what this reminds me of. It makes me think they might have been going for too. I don't know. Either way, it looks really, really cool. I love this control room. And you might be going, well, if you love this control room, why isn't it your default room? The thing is, ShatteredSteel never finished this room. There's no chain. You can't activate this room to be your default. Oh, sure. It is completely programmed. You can push all these things, and you can take off. See, look, right there. Look at that. See? Hypercube relay. I can put the hypercube in, and we can go. It even has its own special stuff that goes on whenever you tell it to go. It's like, really, the only thing missing from this room is the chain to make the door appear here. But I have clicked this thing, hoping, maybe thinking it was just an invisible chain, but there is no chain. It is so sad. So anyway, this is a really cool room. So it's basically become my reflection room. I don't know. And sometimes if I'm on this side of the TARDIS, I'll just go ahead and fly it from here. And you could do that. You could fly it from here and maybe activate the mage room as the default and then just run between the two rooms. But yeah, that's like 3 loading screens, and so to me, not worth it. Anyway, Now, you may have noticed that it's doing a lot of auto-saving in this room, but here's the real kicker is, it doesn't actually save in this room. Saving in the TARDIS is not possible. For whatever reason, I'm not sure why, but TARDIS saves do not work, so yeah, be aware of that. Don't try to save in the TARDIS. Always be outside somewhere safe or whatever. Alright, now one of the big talking parts of this mod is this room right here. So you call it the heart of the the heart of the TARDIS, the cloister room, whatever you like. But this is the room that gives you the ability to regenerate, and when you get the ability to regenerate, it shows up in your magic. Let's see here. Guess remember where it is. Like I said, I use a mod that gives me all my health, so I never actually die. But there is a... where is it? Okay, there's a regeneration spell that you pick up. And maybe I did. I thought I had it, but maybe I didn't keep it. I mean, I found it once when I was playing around, and I may have just reloaded the game. So, oh, nope, there it is. Gallifreyan Regeneration. You run this, and basically it is like a full reset. Now, if you watch my other video, you know that there's a settings hypercube, and depending on how you set up your settings affects the regeneration sequence. So, but when you regenerate, you'll get a whole character menu if you left that part on, so you can totally redesign your character and start over fresh with a whole new person and a whole new look, or you can keep your basic look and just have the cool animation going. Now, up here, we've got all of our shrines. So, if you're into shrines, or you know what shrines do, we've got them all here. Shrine of Talos, Shrine of Mara, Shrine of Di-Bella, and all the other ones. Now, whenever you do this, you have this little thing right here, Artron Release. Now, you push out this button, and then there's a button over there, and one over on the far side there, and when you turn them all on, this little piece activates right here, and you come down here, and you get the ability to regenerate. Now, there's some cubes called Capture Artron cubes that you can make in the Nanite Forge. That's that thing I said I would mention later. And honestly, don't know what it does. Never had a chance to use it. So, but that is really the inside of the TARDIS. Like I said, ShatteredSteel, he or she did a really good job at making this TARDIS functional, giving it some cool nooks and crannies. To be honest, in making these videos, I found some extra stuff that I hadn't noticed before. So, I'm still finding and learning new things. Trying to think if there's something I am forgetting to mention, some little detail, but I can't think of anything right off the top of my head. I'm sure there's something, and I'll think of it for another video. But anyway, here we are. We're back to the mechanical theme. I know. It kind of has a Smith feel, but it also kind of has a Picaldi doesn't sound right. Peter Capaldi, there's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, has kind of a hymn feel. But anyway, that is pretty much the ins and outs and the runaround of the TARDIS. So, I will leave you to explore and say happy travels until my next video.